Most men, the first attempt at monogamy is marriage.
You're already setting yourself up for failure.
If you've been doing what you've been doing, and the first time you're gonna stop trying to not do that and try to put all of that energy now in one person, it's gonna be some problems. It's gonna be some problems. And we can put that on God.
I received that because I feel like I'm 33, man. I feel like for our generation, and Jacob, I know you can relate. We feel like maybe we can flip that switch, and it's like, nah, bro, it's not that. It's not that simple. Like you have to practice this over time. Yeah. So when you do get married, you can be successful. You think you're gonna flip that switch just because you don't cross that?
Say that a little bit more. Say it a little bit. No. That's real spit, son. That's real. Like you cannot say that loud enough.
Right. Nah, that's real. I think we all feel like, I can just flip the switch when I'm married, and it's like, nah, bro, you gotta practice that. And I feel like that's why you see so many young marriages fail out.
All right, so what y'all think about what Kirk said to them? There's a BET podcast.
Yeah, it was.
It's called The Fellas.
And your boy was on it too.
Bam.
He didn't say nothing.
David Banner. They talked to him right after that, but it wasn't related.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
You know, I was trying to get first of all, the first thing he said was your first attempt at monogamy is marriage, right? You should be practicing self-control and discipline well before.
That's what
he was saying. Yeah, he said if. He said if.
Oh, he said if. I didn't hear that part.
Yeah. I thought he said that shouldn't be your first attempt.
Oh, okay. I thought he said because you know how the computer cuts off.
Early,
yeah, it cut in early. I didn't hear that part. Okay, gotcha. Well, now, so the other part was, and that's on God. I hear that used in different ways, right? Like that's my word. Mm-hmm. Could be used that way, or the temptation is coming from God. How did y'all take that? Because
it's just a saying.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
All right. Then, I mean, I don't really know.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. I don't see anything wrong with it.
Okay. So yes, that was good. Good thing. And usually when we bring up him on marriage, he usually says a lot of good stuff about marriage.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say, I don't know the fellas there, but the only thing I would add to what Kirk said is it's not about practicing how to be married. Like this is something, regardless of if you get married, your heart posture should be, I'm gonna live pure just for God, not so that I could get ready for marriage. That's the only thing I'm like, it's not about it almost framed it as, okay, if you're gonna about to get married, start maybe one or two girlfriends before marriage, start trying to be faithful. That's not the point. The point is regardless if you ever get married, be faithful to God with your body. And then if he blesses you with marriage, then you are the person who is right for marriage. But it's not about practicing. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
I didn't like that terminology. But everything else, perfect. Good.
Yeah, I liked it. One of the best advice that one of my married sisters told us was the single you is going to be the married. No, the married you is the single you or whatever. The single you is the married you. So you're thinking you're going to, like he said, just flip a switch and miraculously change just because now you're married and have a title and a ring. No, like whatever character flaws you have now that you are neglecting to work on, those are going to be magnified when you are married. Yeah. So it's like, make sure y'all have a deep relationship with God. You're really pouring yourself into community, because a lot of these things, these flaws, when you're in close-knit community with people, they'll help you iron out a lot of these flaws. That way you don't have to deal with them. You'll first stop when you are married, when you're in marriage. There we go.
I think it's with Job. He talked about the discipline of his eyes, how he never looked upon another woman. So the appetite, I think he was challenging young men to, your appetite, discover why you have an appetite for this, whether it's this or that. A lot of times we have desires that are contrary to God's desire for us. Delight yourself in the Lord, He'll grant you the desires of your heart. That doesn't mean God's going to give you whatever you want. That means if you delight yourself in Him, whatever it is He desires for you to have, then you'll begin to desire that for yourself. And a lot of times our desires are wrong, so we go pursuing after things, and those things don't align with the perfect will of God for us. So I think the appetites, the discipline that's necessary. And like he said, you need to be in God doing that anyway. Yeah. That needs to be something becomes natural because of your relationship with Him. But I think what he said was great. You know, I just love the challenge. He was talking about his wife prior to that in their relationship, been married for I think 29 some plus years. So I watched the video and I thought it was good that he was just talking about that, because a lot of people need to hear that. You need to hear about marriage is a great thing. He highly esteemed his wife. I was like, wow. And he said some things I didn't necessarily agree with, but he really esteemed her and talked about why she was important to him and so on. So that appetite is important. You know, we got a lot of young people. I teach, for 100 Black Men of Atlanta as well. I'm supposed to be there today. And we got the collegiate, all of them, and it's just the appetite out here. And everything out here is the options are greater than what it is. And it's just like, it's just a different realm. Like you can, and things are so easy to get today. So, understanding that. And the only way you can quench that thirst is by first being satisfied. And understanding satisfaction only comes from God.
Amen.
It doesn't come from any place else. You can be pleased but not be satisfied. So, a lot of people are looking for pleasure but not satisfaction. So.
Amen.
Why do you guys think it's so hard to once you get married to slay that beast that you've been that like you said, the appetite that you have? Why is it so hard for guys and some women to slay that appetite of that? Because I think a lot of single people think, okay, I've had sex as a single, so when I get married, this is what the expectation of sexuality should be in my marriage. But if that appetite is, if you are, how can I say this? If you are a person that's like your sexual appetite is like on 1,000, and you marry somebody whose sexual appetite is like at a 10, it's like, that may not fulfill quotations, but at the same time, you're thinking, well, she's not enough or he's not enough, so let me go out this way. So I guess the question I'm asking is, when should you, like, that appetite that he just talked about, when should you slay that? Because is it going to be hard to slay it as well? Because at the same time, it's like God give us these sexual desires. It's not like he didn't, but I think he look at us like, hey, you have to slay that. So I guess the question is, like, how hard is it as a single? If you don't slay it, how much problems will it cause in your marriage?
That's a continuous process. And you're always slaying and saying no. You have to learn how to say no to you.
Yeah.
I was married for 20 years. I never cheated on my wife. So that was one thing that I could, I'm good. It didn't work out, but I was married for 20 years and I never bought another one. Any woman that came near me that I knew was attracted to me, I introduced them to my wife. Hey, this is my wife. I'm a pastor. It was never me trying to get with them. I never do any kind of so I had to know how to say no to the appetite. It still comes up. I mean, I would be lying to you if I said it didn't.
No, I get that, because I feel like everybody, like people checking me in the comments say, yeah, women have sexual temptations too. Yeah, that's what I said. Not some, but yeah, everybody. But what I'm saying is, I think as a single, I think we don't talk to singles about that sexual, that appetite that you have, that you're cultivating with non people that's not your spouse, that when you get married and then you're starting to like, when you get with a woman or a man that's pure and they've been waiting for you, and you saying you've been waiting for them, but you just been hitting everything coming towards you, then what happens when they don't satisfy you? In essence, they doing the right thing because they've waited, but you didn't.
But
so
it's not always. It's not always like how you set it up, though.
Okay.
It's not always that way. But I think that the point is, when you slay it now, immediately, right? While you're listening. And it's not like again, a lot of this you cannot do in your own power.
Right.
This is you saying, God, I'm tired of doing it my way. I need you to make a clean heart in me.
Yeah.
It's not something you just willpower your way through. It's a waste of time. Yeah. You have to ask God to purify your heart. Like, and if you sincerely, God, please, He's going to answer that prayer, and it's going to suck, because there's things that are going to happen where you're like, well, I thought I was going to get with so-and-so. No, that's not who I have for you. I thought I was going to get, no, that's not who I have for you. It's going to be harder praying this prayer, right? Yeah. But you're basically saying, God, I'm trusting my body and my heart and my desire with you. Yeah. Because your sexual desire is not just for you, it's for your spouse. Yeah. You're supposed to be, your desire is for your spouse. Yeah. So if you have a spouse that doesn't desire you as much or whatever, That's the point, is for you to become one and to work on that together.
Right,
It's not to get it somewhere else, and then it's a waste of time.
Yeah, but to make it clear, I'm not talking about your when you get married. I'm talking about if
When
you've
you're
been
single.
when you're single and your appetite, you're pleasing your appetite to the point where you've tried all these type of sexual stuff.
Yeah.
But when you get married and that person that you're married is like, I'm not going to do what you're trying to do because I don't feel comfortable with that. You don't have no options. There's no options to cheat on that person. We're saying that like you need to crucify that demon or that your flesh that you've been petting and feeding everything come your way. You got to crucify that. That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, well, how bad do you want it? You know,
Yeah.
who you hanging around?
Yeah.
Who's your accountability partner? You can't go to the club talking about I ain't gonna do nothing, and then you right in front of the same temptation that you're trying to avoid. A lot of people keep saying they want this, but then when it comes to the reality of doing the work, you know, the hardest work we have to do in this life is the work of surrendering our will over to the greater will of God. That's the hardest work. A lot of people, they keep saying they want to do that, but they won't. So, you know, when that becomes a bigger thing than everything else, then that's when you know you're at that place where you can actually close that thing out and stop, you know, allowing that temptation to lead you.
Right. And I'm not married, but from the situation and the context of your question, what I think is so you haven't been slaying it. Now you're in a relationship and you're in this pickle in this situation. Well, now you're reaping the fruit of your sin. And the wages of sin is death. Well, baby, now you got to die. So either you going to die then or you going to die now.
That's right.
But either way, you're going to have to die. And we're married to God first. So we should already be dead. And in the process of dying over and over and over again. Because even in getting married, marriage is not about you. Your walk is not about you. Your salvation is not about you. And a lot of times in Western Christianity, it's always about us, how we could benefit, how we're going to be satisfied. Baby, we supposed to be seeking our satisfaction from Christ, like you said. Right. So either you going to die now or die later. And if you choose to die later, it's going to be a whole bunch more baggage, covenants, like he said, demons, stronger demons, like that you're going to have to deal with. And now you got to deal with that with your spouse. It's like, baby, die now. Die daily.
Yeah, I was going to ask, I wouldn't know this because I never even cheated on a girlfriend before, but with cheating on a girlfriend, shouldn't it feel the same? Shouldn't it feel just as bad as cheating on a spouse? Like sin is sin, right?
Cheating on a girlfriend is... Well, okay, you have to describe what you're saying. You're talking about you're sleeping with your girlfriend and then you sleep with someone else?
Yeah.
You already in sin.
The sin is not you cheating on your girlfriend. The sin is you sleeping with your girlfriend and sleeping with someone else.
I know that, but I'm saying the conviction of it, right? Shouldn't your heart feel the same even in marriage versus the relationship? Why not?
Because cheating on your girlfriend, the reason you feel convicted as a husband is because you broke your vows.
No, but I'm saying for me, I would feel the wrath. I would feel my problem with God first
for cheating on your girlfriend.
Yeah, because I would be doing two bad things, right?
Yeah, of course, yeah. The having sex outside of marriage is what you feel bad for.
That's what I'm saying about. Yeah,
but you have no covenant with your girlfriend, so the breaking of that should just make you feel like a bad person, just morally.
Yeah,
but it's not as serious as cheating on your wife. Like that is
cheating on God.
I get it,
but
I
think
think
against your own body.
The problem is, I think I avoided cheating on girlfriends
because you're not a terrible person. Yeah,
not a terrible person, but I also felt like my first covenant was to God.
Yeah.
So that was what I was practicing.
Right,
I was practicing my keeping my covenant.
Yeah. But
more so than I just don't want to.
But you framed it as cheating on your girlfriend is as bad as cheating on your wife.
Right. But what I was saying, the sin problem being that it should feel the same. Like the weight of the sin should feel the same from what you did before God.
Not really. The covenant is a God's created institution or command, way that he created. But if you're already in sin and you're saying I want to feel bad for continuing on in what I've already been doing, it's just you already in it.
I think what are you saying is, should I feel the same if I cheat on my wife versus if I cheat on my wife versus cheating on her when we were just boyfriend and girlfriend? That's what you're asking?
Yeah, well, no. I'm saying the first covenant.
Or should it be the same? Should it feel the same?
The first covenant is with God. So anything you do against God should be the reason why you're you're coming out of that issue. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I was to the point where I was like, I didn't want to kiss another girl if I was dating somebody else. Like, that to me was, why would I do that?
But then that goes back to the same thing.
Yeah.
The issue you're having is not with the girlfriend. You see what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that relationship is vapor. It's nothing. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? So the actual relationship, you having sex or doing something you shouldn't do with you're cheating on your future wife.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Not that little girl that
That's
you with
what I'm
right now.
saying.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
That's
Not
what
the
I'm
little
saying.
girl. We gotta call her little now.
The feeling should be the same. It should be, I let down
But
God.
not for that
Now,
reason.
what-
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Not-
I let down God. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but the covenant, when you're in that
I
covenant,
get
outside
that.
of it,
Yeah.
yeah. And I understand the cheating on the future wife, but
Yeah.
that covenant is. I was there in 20, and
Yeah.
like I said, I didn't cheat, but that covenant.
But what
is
I'm saying,
powerful.
my first covenant was to God.
Yeah.
All right, but you're framing it in the girlfriend
Yeah,
cheating.
yeah.
situation.
Right,
You're
but
not
I'm
in
saying,
covenant with that girl.
if you're in covenant with God, period. Anything you do, any sin you create,
I see
anything
what he's
you
saying.
commit,
Yeah.
should feel the same. It should feel horrible. It should feel bad.
It should
Ain't
feel
got
the
nothing to do with
same
that little
because
girl,
when
though.
you're sleeping with your
that little girl.
not that little girl. I get what he's saying because he's saying either way you're breaking a covenant. So if I'm
Yeah.
sleeping with my girlfriend, I should feel equally as bad as cheating on my wife because you're breaking the covenant with God when
Right.
you sleep with your girlfriend.
Because my first practice
so
was
the
with God.
conviction
Right,
should be
but
the same.
extra
The way you-
girl
yeah.
means nothing. It's the same.
I'm not talking about the extra. I'm not talking
But
about
you
that.
said cheating on your girlfriend. That means there's two girls involved.
I'm just saying, if you were unfaithful at any point in your life,
It's a bad sign. I agree with that. It's a bad sign. It's
Right.
not as
It
serious.
depends on what the girl was. I mean, what your intent was. If your intent wasn't to marry in the first place and you cheat on her, you go with somebody else. It's like, okay. So the intention behind it, a lot of these guys today, they don't care.
Yeah.
They just want to hit and quit. They got a girl. I just want somebody there because I don't want to be alone.
Yeah.
You know, so the intention is, but when you get married, your intention is this is forever. This is for life.
I think
Yeah.
what Ryan is getting at is if a guy cheats when he's not married, that is a really bad sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
that
agree with that.
he's not going to be able to do it when he's married.
I agree.
There is a
Correlation.
character issue there.
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's not the same as cheating on you. That's the only thing I'm saying. It's
I
not
agree.
No.
equivalent.
No, I get that part. Obviously, I get that part. I'm just saying when he talks about the first practice, I'm saying the first practice should be with your covenant with God.
Yeah.
I agree.
That should be the first practice.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely, a prayer that's usually always on my heart is like, Lord, let our hearts break for what breaks your heart.
Yeah.
And let us love what you love.
Yep.
Because essentially, yes, you're not married, but you're having sex. You're breaking your covenant with God. And that you should feel something about that. There should be conviction. Your heart should be broken. Because you're married to God.
Yeah.
Like, God died for you, bro.
Yeah, that's real.